Hello, I'm Haley Polinsky, and this is my midterm project. Sorry, it's kind of blurry. I don't know how to make it not blurry, so that's where we're at with that. So the first topic that I'm going to be talking about is matching risk with profit, the whole risk topic, and entrepreneurship. And I kind of connected it to how all college students are somewhat of entrepreneurs, because we all are taking risks when we go to college. We're risking money, we're risking time, we're risking this, we're risking that, because a big possibility is that we can't finish college for whatever reason, and then all that time that we wasted, well, you could consider it wasted or not, but all that time that we spent is essentially not going towards anything other than education, or like knowing more. But the book defines risk as the chance an entrepreneur takes of losing time and money on a business that may not be profitable, or a chance of loss. And really, that's kind of what college is. We're risking our money, risking time, like I just said. There was a CNBC News article that said there's $1.7 trillion in student loans, and most individuals have $25,000 to $50,000 in student loan debt. And that's just insane, because I feel like that's really hard to pay off. And then there's another study that was done in 2019 by the Washington University that said 53% of college students are unemployed or working in a job that doesn't require a degree. So there's this chance that you get your degree or whatever, and then you might not actually get a job with that degree that you've spent the last 4 years studying for. And now you have $25,000 to $50,000 worth of debt, and you've wasted 4 years of your life, essentially. I mean, you might be able to get one later, but it's just crazy that you're risking all that time and money. And so, as college students or entrepreneurs, if you can, as I've related it to that way, it's our job to kind of decide if that risk is worth it. Like, okay, you could get a job doing something else that doesn't require school. You could see how that goes. But really, do we think it's worth it? And to me, college is worth it because I think education is important. So even if I graduate 2 years from now, and decide that, or I even can't get a job, then that will really suck, but I'll be 4 times as smart as I was when I graduated high school. Maybe not 4 times, but like a lot smarter than I was when I graduated high school. And that's really important to me. I think that education in general is important. So to me, it's not a waste of time, and that's why I'm willing to take that risk. But to some people, school is the means to the end. Like, okay, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get a job. And yeah, that's important to me too, but that's not, like, I don't know. But, so, and that kind of, really reading about that and like connecting it like that really made me rethink my perspective about school. So I was like, after reading all those articles about people not getting jobs after school, I was like, man, that would kind of blow if I didn't get a job. But I still think it's worth it, even if not. Okay, so that was my next topic, or that was that topic. Now on to my next topic. Ethics was the next one I chose. And so ethics is pretty individualized, and everybody has to decide for themselves essentially what is right and wrong. There's things in our community that are considered right and wrong and that we all just kind of know, but for the most part, like your day-to-day actions, it's up to you to decide what you think is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And like for lying, stealing, cheating, whatever, I mean, we all tell a white lie here and there. I mean, and I don't want to say it's all, but I think it's pretty common for somebody to say a white lie, like, hey, can you come into work today? I know it's your day off and you just work 6 days, but we really need you to come in. And you say, oh, sorry, I took a trip out of town. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, everybody does it. Not everybody, but I think a lot of people do. And to me, that's okay, because in that example, I value my personal time and my time off work. And so I value my time off work. So to me, telling that white lie is okay. But I mean, honestly, you could just be honest and be like, hey, sorry, no, I value myself more. But that's a different story. Anyway, moving on. The next thing I read about in the chapter is that how you act at work defines your ethics as well too. So goofing off at work can be considered unethical because people are paying you to do a job, and when you're goofing off or on your phone or going on a bathroom break and you're gone for 10 minutes is pretty unethical because these people are paying you to be working and you're essentially not working, you're stealing money from them. And I never really thought about that because I just thought that, I don't know what I thought, I just thought it was acceptable for some reason. And I maybe still do think it's acceptable, but now I'm thinking about it more. So it's important that we think about how our own ethics play into the workplace, because I know for me, a big thing is, well, not in my current job, but in jobs that I've worked in the past, it's like, okay, well, you're not treating me, like, I don't feel like there's an ethical standard being upheld here, so why should I continue to be ethical myself when it comes to wasting company time? But I guess you're going to get, even if you feel that the company is being unethical, you too are also being unethical by wasting their time. So it's kind of like goes both ways, and it's really something to think about and how you want to act and be a good person. And then while it's important for us to hold ourselves accountable, it's really important for us to also keep the people we work for accountable with how they're doing, holding up their end of the bargain, I suppose. And the book describes ethics as society's accepted standards of moral behavior, but it's so hard to talk about ethics because it's so individualized. You know what? Maybe if I turn the light on, it'll be better. Oh. Is that better? Okay. I look like a little hobo, but that's okay. I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about... So, yeah. The book describes ethics as a society's standards of moral behavior, but it's so hard because everybody has situational things for what they think is right and wrong. So, as a big overarching thing, society says, yeah, we shouldn't lie, we shouldn't steal, we shouldn't cheat, we shouldn't murder, we shouldn't, right, whatever. Everything, we all know what's considered right and wrong. But we situationalize it for ourselves. So, like I said, goofing off at work, right? We're situationalizing it for ourselves. So that makes it kind of hard to talk about. But we make these excuses for ourselves, but then we expect our employers to be moral always, but our employers are people as well. So we're expecting these humans to know, just because they're in higher management, to be ethical all the time, which is really unfair. But it may be unfair, but they need to be ethical, right? But it's necessary. Obviously, it's necessary for companies to be ethical because then they can have lower turnover rates, higher job satisfaction among employees, and they'll keep employees. And then it was also surprising to read in the text that most managers don't believe that ethics matter in management, and that it's like a personal problem, and that what they're doing doesn't really make a difference in ethics. But this made me realize that it's important to make sure that any job that I go to in the future has an ethical code that they follow, because it's new for jobs to create an ethical code that they follow. And they'll have it posted or there's different types of ethical codes that they post that I'm sure you know about. But so I've learned that will be really important for me in the future when I go to switch jobs. Just a shocking stat that I found from the Harvard Business Review is that 1 in 4 people feel pressured to do something that they don't feel comfortable with while at work. And that just feels insane to me. But I mean, I felt pressured to do stuff at work that I didn't feel comfortable with, and that's why I don't really work there anymore. But it's just so crazy that is so common, that 1 in 4 people have felt that. Yeah, okay, moving on to the next topic, motivation. So motivation in the workplace is super important, and I personally have experienced this. At one of my old jobs at the Human Being, I had this manager, and she was just the bee's knees. She was so awesome, and she made everybody feel motivated because she was our friend, I guess you could say, but we also knew that she held authority, and the way she was just made it so we all wanted to do better, and we all wanted to do our part and work hard, and we were one of the top producing stands, and I think it was because of her, because we were all so motivated. Workers that feel motivation, passion, and commitment are more loyal to their company. I worked at the Human Being for 2 years with her as my manager because she was just so awesome, and then she created a wonderful working environment that I didn't feel the need to switch jobs. And then when managers make you feel like you make a difference or make you feel appreciated, it motivates workers because you feel appreciated and you know what you're doing is actually serving a purpose. The Elton Mayo and Hawthorne studies showed the benefits of an informal atmosphere at work. So, like I said, my manager was like my friend, and so she was super awesome to work with. And I just felt like communication between us was so easy. And in these studies, they showed that being included in decisions, respected, and being included in decisions such as scheduling and planning anything that had to do with the company made the workers feel more motivated and were more productive. And that's definitely what Gianna did. She would have us, my old manager, she would let us pretty much decide our schedules, and she would include us in any new goals that we had. She was just super awesome, and it really motivated us to work better. And the next thing that I learned about was the motivators and hygiene factors, which I didn't really know anything about, but I think they're super cool and kind of interesting. So the motivators were like work itself, achievement, recognition, and respect, I'm guessing is what that says. I can't read my own handwriting. And then the hygiene factors were supervision, working conditions, coworkers, salary, status, etc. And it was really shocking to me that the hygiene factors just created dissatisfaction at the work. They didn't include motivation. Because for me, coworkers do increase my motivation, and so does my salary. Because when I go to work, at some of my old jobs, I'd be like, man, I'm only making blank for all this that I'm doing. Okay, maybe that was dissatisfaction. And I haven't really made a lot of money to know what it feels like to do something like that. Okay, maybe I don't have enough to talk about that. But where I'm at right now in life, I feel like salary would make me feel a lot more motivated and be like, okay, well, I'm doing this, but at least I'm making this much money, you know? But it definitely does motivate me when I get recognition. Like at my new job, I get bonuses for when I work hard, and that is super motivating super motivating, because then I continue to do those things and hope that I'll get another bonus. But I don't know, that seems like salary again. So yeah, that's kind of all I got. But really, from motivation, I learned that it's important to have a good work environment, otherwise you're not going to be productive. And I think it's really important to have a good work environment. So that's that. I hope this was good and what I was supposed to do. I'm a little confused, but thanks.